Hello YouTube, I am Matt. Welcome back to another Feather and Inkwell fountain pen review. And here today we are reviewing one that I've had for quite a while, but first time on the channel for review is the Benyu Scepter. This is definitely a desk pen. It has no clip on it. It has many facets for its body, including on the cap, which looks a lot like the body of the pen. Like most Benyus, it is very sparkly, very colorful, and not completely round shaped. It actually wouldn't even have a shape classification, as most of my pens typically do. It is a resin pen, so it is very light, but it's mostly just, it writes easily in the hand well enough once you uncap it, but it's definitely not an ordinary shaped pen. In it, celebrating the 4th and having red ink, I have, and of course, none other than the Diamine Red Dragon, and I'll be writing in my favorite paper, the Rhodia notebook. The pen, I believe this is going to be a number 4 nib. This is pretty small in size. I cannot tell what we bought it in. Probably a medium, but it could be a fine.
Fine.
It is a fine. So, a couple notes. This is a stainless steel nib. We do have a plastic feed. After not writing with it for quite a while and having it just in a pen cup, I was able to get it writing fairly quickly today. So it takes a while to dry out and it gets back to writing fairly quick with very, very good ease. It is a converter type pen. So just a little bit of screw out and there you have it. And you can even see I'm almost out of ink in this. So even though it is pretty low, it is still writing for me. And you can see the international ink converter, as all of them do have. This is a resin pen, so while it is fairly large and uniquely shaped, it's resin, so it's super lightweight. So if you wanted to carry this in your pocket or your backpack or wherever, while it would be bulky to carry with you, it's very lightweight, so it would be comfortable, it would not be overbearing. You can write with it for quite a while in your hand. The grip, as you saw, is in fact ordinary shaped. It has kind of just like a standard taper. It's not a flat shape, but it's tapered minorly. The threads are fairly soft. You really don't feel them because you want to hold it down here. If you were to hold it closer to all the edges, you would feel more of the edges before you ever felt the thread. It doesn't post, but it's not meant to post. The cap, while it can't post, it does have a cap ring, and it does tell you what it is on it. Aside from that, just like today, red and blue and gold instead of the white, and celebrating the 4th. Happy 4th, everyone. Happy Independence Day. Happy Canada Day to all my Canadians out there writing with fountain pens. Today, I'm going to be showcasing this lovely Americana-themed pen. One, two, three, and we are back to our new paper-facing view that is very straight on. And I am going to be demonstrating this particular pen and how it writes. Here you can see I've already written for it, and happy 4th of July. Now it is a little bit on the dry side, as I showed you earlier in the cartridge. There's not very much left, so I'm having to apply a little bit of pressure to put down that, but that's okay. And here we are, and give you a little smudge test. So I'm going to guess this is probably a fine nib. It was probably what it came in at the time. It is a gold colored nib. And being that it's a fine, it is putting out a fair amount of ink. It is very smooth, so has a little bit of feedback, but it's not bad. Fairly well The feedback is kind of minor. I'm also writing on the Rhodia paper, which also has some of the least amount of noise to pen feedback possible because it is very sealed paper, super slick, super smooth. You could see very quickly it will give you a smudge, but if I do some normal lines, I give it a few seconds here, less. About 15, even less, so you're able to close your book fairly well and probably not really worry about smudging too much. You'd have to be really trying to make this smudge in order to really make a problem out of it. It does write drier. You could probably use this on almost any notebook because this is a fine. Normally you could buy these pens with any kind of nib on it. It just happened so that this was the last one in stock for this particular pen. Outside of the shape of the body, which you really don't feel when it's in your hand and you're writing with it, it's a very light pen, so it's going to flow very easily, so no problems. You could write with it all you want to. Very smooth. The pen writes well. It keeps up, especially when it has more ink in it than what I am testing it with right now. And on yet another level, this may not be Red Dragon. This could be Ancient Copper. We did love Ancient Copper when I first got it in, and that was closer to the time I got this pen. And this is a little bit darker ink, so this could be Ancient Copper. But still a flavor of red for the 4th of July. And folks, I believe I am going to close up with that. Here is the pen in a nice view. Here is it closed for you. Red, blue, and some gold. And that is it. Have a good evening, folks.